Hello, Papa Ron.
Hey, Rod.
Excuse me, folks. Ron gets me laughing so hard I can't stop.
It don't take much at all.
Well, it sure is good to see everybody out there, and we're glad you're here joining us. And be sure and give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this stuff. We're going to be talking well, a little bit about everything tonight, I think, with Ron, because we had a lot of little things to talk about. It just sticks in our craw sometimes.
Well, let's start right off by these comments. This chief financial officer of Visa, one of the main dogs, made about crypto, and we're not going to really go over the article. Just want to look at just a couple comments he had made. He kind of lost it when he got discussing about Bitcoin and crypto.
That's funny. We get to losing it when we start talking about bankers, don't we?
Yeah, that's a dang good point, Rod. Yeah. But I think our frustrations are legitimate.
Yeah, either he's right on or we're right off or vice versa. You know, I like to think since we're older, we're more wiser, so we're always right.
That could be. But, you know, we were just discussing a minute ago that when these guys, and they're still all passing this FUD out there, this fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Thank you. And, you know, they're either lying through their teeth or they're just so out of touch with crypto and haven't looked into it, they don't know what they're talking about. And I think it could be a mix of both, really. I don't think they want to really investigate it and see its possibilities. I think they're concerned about, you know, not only I don't know if it's really their jobs, but about their whole industry. And this could really be upsetting to them. Anyway, here's two things he said. He was talking about it. He's been shocked by misguided retail investors who know just enough about Bitcoin to be dangerous. Yeah. Now here's his comment. That was part of it, but he says the people asking me are the ones who scare the HE double toothpicks out of me. You know, guys like the limo driver at the airport. They have no idea what they're doing. He told FT. Who's FT? Financial Times?
Yeah.
And then he goes on, he says, this is the ultimate thing that you hear about when you have a bubble. When the guy shining your shoes tells you what stock to buy. You know, it's kind of an indication. But now catch that. Just to show you how out of untouched this guy is. He's talking about, one, his limo driver, and two, the guy who shines his shoes. What's the percentage of the people that have limo drivers from the airports and get their shoes shined at a street side shoe shiner? I mean, there's probably several guys that do that, but this guy lives in a different world, man. He's hobnobbing with the big boys, you know. He's the CFO of Visa. So I just found it interesting that the two examples he uses are examples that 90% of us or more can't even relate to.
So wait a minute, you got to read that next one, next quote.
Oh, yeah, I did have another one here. Did I pass one you wanted to read?
Yeah, right there. It says, with the currency issued by the Federal Reserve, I know who stands behind it. With cryptocurrency, who's good for the money? Yeah. Who the hell knows?
So,
see, you see, he don't realize that it is a decentralized, and he's scared shitless because he's worried about his buck and about some Federal Reserve backing it up. Well, heck, they ain't got enough money in there to back anything up.
Yeah, you're exactly right. If you do the investigation on the Federal Reserve, they claim they can back all these accounts up. I think it's less than 6% of them they have enough reserves to cover. I mean, if we had a major banking crisis in this country, everybody'd lose their money. It's not federal, it's not FDIC insured. It is by name, but you're right. There's no funds enough to cover all that. He goes on. Go ahead.
You get money through the banking system. This next quote. This next quote gets me because this guy is got his head up as you know where that he can't even know how people launder money.
Well,
You
yeah, I'm
know,
going to
I,
show you a couple things after this. You're right. See, Rod hasn't seen these articles, so we're getting true responses out of Rod on this.
a cryptocurrency, the phenomena is all for all that stuff. Every crook and every dirty politician in the world, I bet, is in cryptocurrency, and he's probably right.
Let me read that once more. It says it's very hard to get dirty money through the banking system.
Bull crap.
Cryptocurrency is phenomenal for all that stuff. Every crook and every dirty politician in the world, I bet, is in cryptocurrency. So he's really trying to establish the blame game on, hey, this is the avenue all the money launderers are using, all the crooks and all that. So let's quickly go to a couple more headlines that I think are very recent.
Okay.
U.S. bank to pay $600 million to settle money laundering charges. And this is February 15th, so this is a month old.
Yeah.
And folks, there was several articles, and U.S. Bank, they're probably one of the top 3 banks in the country. They're huge, and they got caught money laundering. Big U.S. What's that, Rod?
And it's hard to launder that money.
Yeah. Well, but yet they're throwing all this blame game at us, the crypto industry. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Here's CNBC. Big U.S. banks to push for easing of money laundering rules. Well, they want to change them. They had over a million. They had over a million in 2016. Bankers filled out reports of suspicious activity in accounts. Does that make sense, Rod? If your banker, if you come in and do something that they think's a little cookie or suspicious, they fill out a report and submit that. In 2016, they had 1 million of those reports filled out in this country. And that's for money laundering and illegal activity. Well, how many didn't get caught? And they think that all this crooked activity is going through crypto. My heck, look at this stuff. The banking industry is full of it. It's kind of interesting,
Yeah.
And then here's another one, and this one was out just today. I think it's mainly more of a video, I think, but the biggest banks in the world help finance terrorism. And it's a pretty interesting interview, folks. We'll have this down in the description box. And we knew that. We're suspect of our government financing ISIS and some of that. There's so much proof out there. And then you got that gun running operation down to Mexico. That's called the Fast and Furious Guns or something. You've heard about that, Rod?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. Our government is sending unbelievable amounts of guns down there for the cartel and stuff. I believe it's the cartel. And when there's things that have been caught and stuff, they've got guns that are registered in the United States that they're being used down there. Yeah, it's a big old deal. It all happened during Obama's administration. I think it's called Fast and Furious Guns. If you just Google that, you can read all about it. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to get one of my notepads and make a note on that.
Yeah. You can call me when you want to look it up, and I'll remind you, because that's generally what happens. Well, folks, the markets, of course, we've seen that. They're even down even more today, Rod. I mean, Bitcoin's down to 7,700 again.
Oh, my gosh, man. I wish I could hurry and get my Social Security check.
But it's just... Rod and I got talking before the show about these numbers, and we kind of looked through this a little bit, and it's like, God, what... I mean, we kind of feel what we think is going on here, but, it was just 3 months ago, folks, that people couldn't even sign up on an exchange. There was so many people signing up.
I know.
And then it seems like there's a few circumstances or situations that have happened, and a lot of negative press out there. I mean, a lot. I mean, I kind of scan news daily, and not regular news, but more on the crypto side. And it's crazy how many articles are written on a negative side of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. It's just phenomenal. Every day.
Oh yeah.
So that could have some impact on the numbers coming in. You know what? It could probably put a lot of people on the sidelines just waiting to see what's going on and second guessing coming in or not.
Yeah, but when it starts to go up, boy, you watch it.
Yeah. And then there's probably some legitimate reasons why it's down and continue to be down. One, we covered just a few videos ago about these future contracts, and the big money boys now involved with this at the CME, and they're betting on shorting Bitcoin. And so for them to make all their money, this stuff has to be down for their contracts to pay off.
Yep.
And I think we had an article, Rod, that said, for the last couple months, it has been down when those contracts have been due. So it makes you wonder about the manipulation and the control that they've already got on this market somewhat.
And here's supposed to be decentralized, but it doesn't look like it really is, does it?
I think the platforms are. I think as far as me sending you crypto and, there's no middleman involved with that. I mean, that part's decentralized. But, yeah, they're getting their grimy hooks in on the exchange side. And even this thing about futures contracts, and the SEC passing things that are going to stabilize the industry. I mean, it's so they can control it. That's all it is. So these things. What's that?
I said, oh yeah. That's all they want to do is control. I find it interesting how, and you can see this as soon as they started doing this futures contracts with cryptocurrency, how the whalers, when they got in there, they did start manipulating. This is my personal opinion. Now, I have no proof on this except the stuff that I read and gleaned from it. That these guys, money talks, Ron. Let's face it, and it really does. When you got billions of dollars, it's gonna do something.
Well, and I can't remember the number I read, Rod, but it was just in the last couple days I read that like 90% of Bitcoin is owned by a very small percentage of people. Same with, and so they're involved on the end of exchanges, and we know that Coinbase opened that big one in New York for the big boys, and there was another one opened. I can't remember the name of that, but you can bet that these guys, they're used to making money on financial betting and stuff. So when
like you said a million times, Ron, that if you have enough coin, even though it's 2 or 3 cents and it goes up a penny, guess what? You're going to make big bucks. You can make big bucks on that.
Yeah.
So
you're right. The more they bet and hedge against this stuff, the more they can make. You're right.
Yes, they do.
And when the time is ready for this stuff to go up, and when they're maybe ready to allow it to go up, it will. Mm-hmm. And how soon that they're going to loosen those reins up, I don't know. But it's not like industry's going away. We had one comment in one of the videos, Rod, that spurred me on to look at this stuff here. And this article's even a couple weeks old. And it talks about the 3 crypto exchanges are planning to hire more than 1,000 staff, and that was Coinbase, Kraken, and Circle. Interesting enough, that purchased Polynex.
We just talked about them not too long ago.
Yeah. So between them, it says they're looking to add around 1,250 staff members. Well, that's average, 400 and some odd a piece. I mean, that's a lot of people on the phones, for support help. And managing things. I mean, they're not planning. They're decreasing. They're still gearing up for this to go. And people are going to come into this. They realize it. So it's interesting. I still think that there's things being worked on, and Rod, you do too, that's going to take this to the next level. And it is going to be a form of exchange. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
So right now is a good time for us to hedge our bets and prepare. And, if you got an extra 50 or $100, you can plop it down on something. Not anything. I mean, you want to do that wisely too.
Well, Litecoin's only $147.
The last purchase I made in Litecoin myself, Rod, was $250 a piece. And I made a pretty good purchase then too. But I had a buddy who wanted to get in right before that. And we talked, and he's got MS, and he's in a wheelchair. And so I he's 100 miles away, and we've been friends forever. So I drove up to his house, and we talked and looked at things. But I got him into some Litecoin at $300 a piece.
Wow.
And he's all right. It's not like he's got everything on the line.
And he's been cussing you out ever since, right?
we've had a few talks, yes.
He's one of those guys calling you all the time.
And now it's half the price,
Yeah.
And
but even at 300, I bought some at 200 and something. I can't remember. But I'm not worried about it. Oh. It's gonna go up. Look at everything that's happening in Litecoin. That's got to go up.
Yeah, there's just enough going on in the industry that assures us that it's just time, and whether it be this year or even next. Rod always says, "Hey, I ain't got anything but time." Matter of fact, his quote is basically this. He said, "Folks, I've lost all my looks. I'm broke. All I have left is time." So, well, folks, we just wanted to get on and kind of share a few things and just put it behind you. Keep doing normal stuff and quit sitting around in your pajamas telling your wife you're going to be a millionaire or husband. It's an article we read yesterday by one of them bankers. These guys, man, what a mess. Back to you, Rod.
Well, folks, we appreciate you looking at us and hearing what we have to say.
There ain't much to look at there.
No, it ain't. Not on my end, anyway. Ron at least got a shiny chrome dome.
Yeah, that's right.
But I was just looking at the market cap, and it is down. And we got to look at it in the right way. Don't get depressed with it. Just think that the prices are down, so that means the sale. We got these prices on sale. We got to buy them now. And I'm scraping up some money to buy some more Litecoin, I think. Or some, Ethereum's 525. Okay, I'm sorry, folks. I get sidetracked. My mind wanders. I'm worse than Ron. Hey, thumbs up. Appreciate you being here, and God bless you.